Hi there, and welcome back to our channel. 8 years ago, music suffered its greatest loss. The loss of Prince has emptied the music industry of a vital cog. Even the fans didn't understand. If Katt Williams can decipher the mystery surrounding Prince's death, he will have solved it. Knowing it as a comedian is challenging. It is incorrect to assume that he met Prince. Katt spit bars before her performances, despite what most people think. The Prince had his finger on this path. The shocking revelation was conveyed by Katt in an interview. Netflix No, Arsenio Hall is just a joke. Williams crossed paths with the Purple vocalist in 2022 while performing at the University of Dayton Arena. At the age of 12, Katt looked up to Prince. By the way, Katt did recognize Prince as the justification for self-assurance. I met Prince in Dayton about 12 minutes after his UD Arena performance. Throughout my life, he was a source of strength and confidence for me. Was he expressing himself verbally or was his actions boosting confidence? His behavior was unusual. He looked to be gushing over the musical icons, praising them as a great thinker, and even taking a love to their fanbase. Prince was always 30 steps ahead of the industry. Katt gushed about Prince's versatility. He could play 27 different instruments. His ideas were idealistic. It is challenging to be adaptable and to treat each issue independently. The musician seems to treasure the counsel Katt gave him, which included how to remain joyful in the face of criticism. Years ago, he informed me that being small, light-skinned, and having long hair would not be a problem if women liked you. During his most recent interview, Katt defended the club to Shannon Sharpe. By mentioning that Prince was a friend of his, the Purple singer hadn't wavered. Katt grabbed the attention of his host. "I had a fanboy friend named Prince." Swiftly, Shannon wanted to know if Prince was buddies with the Katt. "That's great that he did since." Katt informed us that we should find out what it's like to be friends with the best musicians. Their bond was strengthened by Prince's collection of automobiles, and he felt Prince was unique. "Excellent individual. I have known him my entire life. We first met when I was 12 years old. I was there for him when he went through each metamorphosis. In Prince's collection, you won't find any automobiles. I happened to be driving the same Bentley as the Friday after next Prowler since we shared music. Song lyrics, ladies, and automobiles are Prince's favorite pastimes." Prince often benefited from Katt's assistance, particularly in the competitive business where he relied on my judgment, and the relationship went both ways when it came to automobiles and females. "I was greatly helped in many ways, especially with the business, by an 18-year-old black man who had broken records and signed his first $1 million agreement. He flat out refused to act like any other Katt, and eventually labeling Prince as one in a billion, he was merely stating facts. It is reasonable to believe Prince's close companion Katt when she says his death was suspicious. Nobody's throwing arrows in the dark like that. Emphasize that someone is aware of what happened on April 21, 2016, at the age of 57, Prince passed away in Paisley Park, Minnesota. Musicians and admirers throughout the world were shocked and saddened by his passing. The dreadful question that lingered was, how? Is Prince dead? Authorities reportedly closed the case swiftly after learning that the Purple singer had died of an overdose of opioids. There were opioids at Prince's estate, and he wasn't even a junkie. He thought using Vicodin would help him relax from the pressures of stardom, but he had no idea the pills were packed with a lethal poison and sold on the black market. Looked fine all during his playing career. Prince made an effort to be a good teammate by being vegan and staying away from drugs and alcohol. It is perplexing because Prince's rigorous training would embarrass even the most devoted gym brothers. What size Prince may use synthetic substances or fall ill? Because it was such an unusual subject, Laura Reed was taken aback when he brought up the sad departure of Prince. The rapper was taken aback by everything, even the CEO of Epic Rec. Deep connection to the departed musician. Reed was profoundly affected by that Purple singer. Without him, there would be no competition. Is he associated with any changes in your taste in music, fashion, or hardware? I had a B when we were kids starting to play, and I'm wearing my a bit out-of-date purple shirt. Because we are Prince fans, we figured it out. Reed has a hard time making sense of his friend's death. A health-conscious individual would never die in such a manner, in his opinion. Had he any health problems? Completely bewildered. Wholesome, alcohol-free, vegetarian. Because I was afraid he took care of himself and died young. I was afraid we hadn't even begun when I didn't know he exercised or took medication. Examine the circumstances surrounding the death of the Prince. Authorities reported finding Prince in a state of rigor mortis, in which a body freezes after death, while he was unconscious in an elevator. We will present the complete Prince discography. Are we going to let the elevator bring us down? His music may include Let's Go Crazy, but you might not hear it. According to Laura Reed, there is a hidden narrative. Prince and a record producer had a conversation. To Prince's surprise, he whispered that the elevator was a monster. The line "Don't let the elevator drag us down" in his song Let's Go Crazy made me nervous. The elevator is on the right. My heart raced because I don't normally speak in such a way, but when I inquired what the elevator was, he claimed it was the devil. The news that he was discovered in an elevator made me nervous. Upon discovering him, Ree must have been terrified. The fact that the prince was discovered in an elevator suggests that he had some familiarity with the concept of elevators, but that is not all. Prior to the catastrophe, Prince had changed. To book a two-night performance for 4,600 people at the venue in March 2016, Prince emailed Lawler Freese, an Atlanta-based competitor event planner. Of course, Lawler had no problem agreeing, but right before the performance on April 7, he got concerning email. The event had to be rescheduled because Prince had to cancel due to illness, much to the disappointment of the audience. Prince was surprisingly accommodating with his followers because he rarely canceled. The stage was never dark when he was there. And here's the twist: fans all over the globe were hoping for the singer's recovery. The artist's last-minute cancellation begs the question, why? Sickness or a plot? To compensate for his absence on April 14, Prince planned another celebration, but he was sick. According to Lucy, the singer went on and performed even though she was sick. Afterwards, she went home. He came in not feeling well, he said. Doing a brief assessment of the audio quality. We knew he wasn't feeling well because, normally, he goes to an after-party, but he showed about an hour before the performance and then left to go home, even though the gigs were incredible. Prince's jet took off throughout the night. Concerns arose more than an hour into the flight when word reached the Illinois control tower that the crew of the DO Falcon 990 was seeking an emergency landing due to a male passenger who had become unresponsive. An emergency landing was requested by the tower due to the seriousness of the situation, and the jet plummeted 45,000 feet. Guards removed the unconscious Prince off the plane 17 minutes after touchdown. Despite their importance, most official records are classified. The singer was administered a Narcan injection upon landing. Opioid overdose following emergency room treatment. A local hospital treated Prince following his emergency landing, but according to flight records, he left the city and returned to Minneapolis 10 hours later. The Prince made his supporters aware of his and his management's plans to take it easy. Twitter: I transformed. After a few weeks of getting over the infection, his management announced that the Purple singer would be taking a much-needed break. Did Prince actually fall ill? Then why was he given a Narcan injection? Were his narcotics a crime? Why didn't his unit keep tabs on him or provide him with medication? Because of his drug problems, Prince may have been neglected and died as a result. Those who saw him at a record store are blaming the management. It seemed like Prince's handlers gave him the green light to do things like bike around his house and shop without bodyguards. Since when can people with the flu be allowed to ride bikes? Hot soup before bedtime would be best for them.